It's my bachelor party and two of my Muslim friends start to speak about having four wives. One of them is from Montenegro and the other one is from Iraq. The guy from Montenegro says, please, bro, can you tell me, how is it logical that in Islam you could eventually have four wives? And the Iraqi's friend replied and said, well, it used to be like this, that you would help women if they would become your wife, because some of them, like, they could not provide from themselves or would be sick or whatever, which is a good thing and a nice thing to help more women, right? But then the guy from Montenegro said, well, why is it so that today you could also have four wives? I mean, he understands that it would be normal like 1500 years ago when Islam came to this planet. And the Iraqi's person said, well, it's in the end what the man says and not what the wife has to say. So the man decides how many women he has. So the Montenegrin guy was like, I don't think that's logical. What if, because he has a girlfriend now, what if my girlfriend says, I don't want you to have three more wives besides me? And the Iraqi guy again replied, well, in Islam, the man has the final word. So the Montenegrin guy said, what if she says, I don't want you to do that? And the Iraqi guy again replied and said, the man has the final word and he can decide to have more wives, which I found while I was listening to this conversation on my bachelor party so interesting, because he was really consistent and he said, like, this is how it is in Islam, like, that's it. What I found beautiful was that these two Muslim born friends could speak about such topic with respect. And I want to say that my Montenegrin friend was like more against having more wives, and my Iraqi friend was like, well, in Islam it says that you can have, so if you want, you could do so. Now the thing in the West is that I don't see this really working. So I just got married and I'm really thinking about just giving attention like to one person at sometimes is so hard. We're 9 years together and I've experienced this, and I could not imagine a marriage between a man and four wives being equally respectful, lovable, and nurturing. And the fact that God first in the Bible said 600 years before the Quran that a man and a woman would leave their home from their parents and together become one flesh really makes me thinking, what happened 600 years later? And what's the reason that God, I mean, could you question this? That God later decided, wait, okay, so first I said like it's just a man and a wife, and then my Muslim friends would say, well, God's word doesn't change. And then in Surah 5 verse 68 it says the Torah and the Injil were also God's word. So in the beginning it was meant to be a man and a woman. Then later it was okay to have four wives. Then now it's modern times and people could not really imagine to have four wives in the West. I don't know if there are families that do so. Do you know anyone? Please let me know. Imagine God in the Bible describing what love means, and then God in the Quran describing what love means. Then imagine that love is about giving each other real attention. I'm thinking about when I had my wedding and my friends came and I just wanted to speak with all of them. And then I remembered I could only give them like bits of attention through conversation, maybe give them a hug, maybe shake their hand. And I know with friends it's possible to have more of them. But imagine if you would live together with your friends. With one of them you play video games, and with the other one you go to do fitness. And then with the third one you watch Vikings on Netflix. And with the fourth one you read the Bible or Quran, whatever. In this case, I'm comparing having four wives to four friends. The only difference is you would not need to go with them to bed. So you're giving your friends all this fractured attention. And now let's go back to the example of the four wives. Because in that case, you would eventually go with them to bed, I think, as a man. Then imagine having 12 kids with four wives, which is how many people? In this case, you would need to give attention to 16 family members. I'm not even speaking about other people in your life, right? It's just the people you live with, your main family. I don't think this would work. Like, if you really start to think this through, what would God have intended for a man and a woman. And if you go back to the Bible and as a Muslim you would say it has been changed, and then I would ask a Muslim friend, like, why has it changed in the Quran or the Hadith that you can have more wives? And don't tell me it's because the wives would be helped, because in love it doesn't work if you have more lovers. It's like believing in more gods at the same time, having a relationship with more gods. It just doesn't work in the end, right? In the end, you pick one god, you have a bond with that one god that makes your faith so strong and makes you grounded as a person. So why would having 4 wives represent true love? I'm interested in reading your comments.